Martian. I'm Tim Stutzle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
You're Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are listening to the postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and, of course, our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the GCP, where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you, and the Send Shuttle. November tickets, there's only 4 games at home that month. Tickets are available at GlebeCentralPub.com. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Levitan Martian, and the Senators lose in overtime, 4-3. The final score, and I guess they got a point to start November. If you told me that 2-0 Montreal early, I'd have been like, oh, fine, whatever. But when they're up late in the game, it feels just a frustrating night, eh, Marshy?
Yeah, it was a frustrating night, and on a night where, you know, there's maybe some bigger things going on in the sports world tonight, to say it lightly, but the Sens and the Habs put on a really good show, I feel like. But from a Sens fan perspective, Ross, you're absolutely right. It was a frustrating one. Another early goal on the 4th shot of the game allowed by Linus Ullmark, and the Sens allowed another one shortly thereafter, going down 2-0 heading into the second period. Another slow start. But they did battle back, and there's some scraps in this game. There was a lot to get into here, Ross. So not all bad, but at the same time, you get a point, and that's the way it's going to shake out in this one. We get another few cracks at this team, this Habs team. They're an exciting one to watch. There's no doubt about it. But the Sens should have found a way to win this one. I feel like, being up 3-2 with 4 minutes left, Ross? Like, come on.
Yeah, Habs are 4-0 now in overtime this season. So it was either that or it gets to a shootout, and Ottawa's 2-0 in the shootout this season as well. But yeah, Habs ultimately get it. It's just the giveaway by Drake Batherson at center ice. That's what makes it so frustrating. Like the first shift, Habs win the faceoff. Suzuki, Caulfield, and Hudson control the puck for about 45 seconds. They even change on the fly and get a look at Ullmark. He makes the save. And then Ottawa can't really do anything with their possession. Cousins, Batherson skating around, but not getting anything to the interior. And then just a backhand saucer pass. It looked like he and Newhook had planned that, the way Newhook skated into that and went right in on goal.
Yeah, a little Chauncey Billups action maybe there, but no, I'm just joking. Yeah, no, obviously, like, Batherson didn't mean to do that, but I'll talk about a horrible play from a player who should know better, especially after last year's playoffs, where in Game 6 against the Leafs, he kind of ended up being that guy who had that bad giveaway turnover.
Well, Game 3 was the giveaway that turned right in the net.
Oh yeah, and the flyby as well there.
Game 2, Game 3, he took the double minor in overtime.
Oh, that was it. Either way, he knows better than that. Like, when you're in OT, you got to be a little more stingy and a little more sure of yourself. I don't know if Newhook called for it and tried to, like, maybe fool Batherson a little bit, but either way, take a look, buddy, and make the right play there, because that is just a muffin up the middle, straight to Newhook, and it's a breakaway the other way. And geez, Ross, we talked about it right before we jumped on here. They allowed a few breakaways tonight, a lot of breakdowns yet again. It's not perfect, dude, but that's the way she goes, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, there were some positives, but that negative stood out more than anything else. They're at the end of their shift too. I know it's not a popular play, but just ring that back to your own goalie, like send it around the boards and have him stop up behind the net, get a change. Very unlikely they're going to pressure you, because I think the Habs probably wanted new legs as well. It just felt like a forced play that ends up in the back of the Sens net, so they lose this game, and really the first big game feel of the season, with Ottawa not having played against other rivals like Detroit or obviously Toronto. So this game stands out to me. They did battle back, but we got the free spots on the Sens bingo card this year. 11-13. The Sens have allowed the first goal of the game, and it feels like they often follow that up with a power play goal given up shortly after, and that was the recipe tonight.
Yeah, it's such a bad trend. We talked about this last postcast. It feels like deja vu right now. When you allow those first 2 goals too, it's like you are in a big hole right off the start of the game, and it's always hard to come back from. They managed to do it tonight, but then they did the same thing that they did against Chicago and the same thing they did against Buffalo, where they give you that glimmer of hope, and you've got a good position, you've got momentum, and then all of a sudden it just slips out of your grasp so quickly. And yeah, I mean, like the patterns in their game right now in these first 13 games, it's pretty glaring. Like we've seen a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again here, and it seems like fixable things. So hopefully Travis Green can get the boys on the right track with some of these mistakes that they're making. But as of right now, they can't keep that trend going because even though they did get the point tonight, November's always been a very hard month for Ottawa, and I think they have a lot of road games coming up in November as well. I believe just the 4 or 5 home games, something like that, and they're gonna have to figure out ways to win on the road. And when they are starting a game, you got to be ready. And then when you do put yourself in a position to possibly maintain momentum and carry that through to the end of the game, you got to find a way to finish games. And right now, the team's just not able to do it. They're not doing it.
No, and it's really costing them because you can only battle back so much. The Senators were able to tonight after a Cole Caulfield goal 7 minutes into the game on a breakaway, 5-hole, just beats Allmark clean. Caulfield's a dangerous player when he's in all alone, and that was just a tough giveaway at the offensive blue line by Pinto, but he was sprung pretty much all the way. Then it was a power play goal, Juraj Slavkovsky, where we're going to get into Nick Jensen specifically. This goal wasn't all on him, but it wasn't a great look for the Shabbat-Jensen pair defensively in a number of situations tonight. Then in the second period, Drake Batherson scores unassisted his 5th goal of the season. And between that and the game-tying goal, it was a Lane Hudson penalty shot where he did his classic million moves, but it was pretty poor effort once he actually got the puck on goal. Then this was where there was a bit of contentious energy at the Bell Center. Puck comes in, hits Montembeault's pad, bounces out front off the defenseman and in. The ref in the corner was so horny to call that no goal. He must have waved it off 10 or 15 times. Well, the Senators look at it, they challenge. There's about a 5-minute review, and they determine that even though Giroux may have gotten to the crease himself, 1, Dobson didn't really let him out. And 2, what they said was that he had enough time to reset, and he did make a save before it went in. What was your thoughts as you were watching that live, and did you think that it was going to be a good goal?
Yeah, I was surprised it got waved off, Ross, as quickly as it did, because Drew kind of had nowhere to go. He was sandwiched between Montembeault and the defenseman, and he had nowhere else to go. It's not like he was trying to bump into Montembeault, and I don't think he really touched him too much either. And Montembeault's kind of got his momentum moving to the left, and it's not like Claude Giroux's got this big gravitational pull that's pulling him with him that's going to, cause that to be an issue. He ended up, making that mistake on his own, I think, Montembeault. I think they looked to the refs to try to wave that one off because they knew it maybe wasn't a good goal, and it was close. He was in the blue paint, maybe 1 foot, but, that should be a good goal 10 out of 10 times. They're saying maybe he didn't have a chance to reset. He definitely had a chance to reset. Like he had the attempt on the first save where he actually made the save, and then the puck ended up deflecting off his own defenseman straight ahead of him and rebounding into the net. So Montembeault has nothing to complain about on that one. I think that they made the right call at the end of the day. But it did take a timeout, which, hey, Ross, we got a timeout from Travis Green, and it was a good one. I like that. Take your time, make the right call on the challenge, and then, the challenge. And it was a good challenge. So it ended up working out in the Sens' favor. But it did feel like one of those times where you're in the Bell Center, the fans are giving it to the refs. Maybe that little bit of pressure is kind of bearing down on those referees, and it didn't get to them this time. I was shocked. I actually thought this was going to go the other way just because of where they were and who they were playing.
11 seconds left in the period. Michael Amadio gets credit for it from Shane Pinto and Artem Zub. The Bell Center hallways during intermission, waiting for the bathroom line to slug along, just pissed off about that one. Well, they had even more reason to be pissed off because an age-old rivalry between Brendan Gallagher and Tim Stutzle, mostly a war of words from Brendan Gallagher, and production from Tim Stutzle, and we got both in the same play. Brendan Gallagher, thinking that he's coming up ice. Hey, maybe I'll score my first goal of the season. La da 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 da. One great back check from Nicholas Matinpalo. He was going to catch him anyways and muscle him off. But no, Timmy goes, I'm just going to knock you down. Does that, then takes that open ice in the middle, gets a chip play up out of the boards, and he does not even look at the second option pass on the power play or on the 2-on-1. And did you notice he wasn't touching the puck there every time? He was kind of waving his stick as a wand, put a spell over Montembeault, and ultimately says, why don't I try a roof upstairs? Unreal goal. Great celly to match. Walk us through that one.
Yeah, I mean, Timmy's never going to give up an opportunity to embarrass Brendan Gallagher or give it to the Habs fans, too. He loves playing Montreal. The Habs fans absolutely hate Tim Stutzle. I'm not sure what that's all about. It's probably because he ends up burying on them every single time. And this was just a sick goal. He ends up burying Gallagher, like you said, and then going down the other way. And what a great little backhand deke move. And that's that soccer player in Timmy that sometimes we see, right? But that's a big soccer move where you move your foot over the ball, but you don't actually touch it. He's doing it with his stick. It's a beautiful play. It's a beautiful move. A lot of deception there. He's super smart with his hands. And it was another time where Timmy kind of looks off the guy who's coming the other way because it was a 2-on-1 as well. And he didn't even look to it. I think it was Nick Cousins breaking in on that left side there and just goes backhand shelf. Obviously, a little bit of a mistake, I think, by was it Matheson was the defenseman there who could have came over and made that play on him. I think he kind of took the pass a little bit too much. Timmy didn't have a lot of pressure on him there. So when the Germans got space and time like that to think and make a really good play and a skilled play, he's usually going to pull it off. So it was a beautiful sight. And that puts the Sens up 3-2. And at that moment, you're thinking to yourself, okay, what a comeback here, 3 unanswered goals. We got this thing. Let's just finish the job. It's not an easy building, but the Sens have done this many times against the Habs. So I thought we deserved a better fate, but sure enough, they've got a young stud of their own over there.
Yes, and he tied it. Ivan Demidov with just under 3 minutes left. After the break, we're going to break down what happened defensively for the Ottawa Senators, and then in overtime, the costly mistake we covered with Drake Batherson feeding one onto the tape of Alex Newhook. He puts it bar down, and it was game, set, match. This is the postcast presented by Locked On Senators. Today's episode, as always, the postcast brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Head to 779 Bank Street for great food, awesome drinks, and an atmosphere to match. I can only imagine right now with the World Series going on, Game 7, the energy in that pub, elite, and the vibes free, because the GCP makes sure to have a great night every night. Live music every Saturday night. Sure, that'll be going on after the Jays game. You've got cheap tacos on Thursday. How about wing night on Monday? There's always something going on at the GCP. Plus the Send Shuttle, just $18 round trip to and from the CTC. Get all November dates right now. GlebeCentralPub.com. Just check off that Locked On Senators sent you. It's the GCP, where the vibes are free. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. Hockey season is here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those games. Let's be real. Getting tickets can be a total headache between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's the ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets. Fast, easy, and stress-free. I like their zone deals. They're a game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save big. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's LOCKEDNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Levitan Martian. You can find our social media in the description below. Please like and subscribe everywhere you get podcasts. We are live after every single Ottawa Senators game, whether it's Game 7 of the World Series, top of the 7th inning, where the Jays are winning 4-2, or if it's a Tuesday night against Columbus. We're here after every single Ottawa Senators game, even the tough ones like losing to Montreal. Senators, though, they do get a point, so you can look at it from a positive spin of, if you're going by the month, we want this number of points. Well, the Senators are one closer to getting that, but it doesn't wash the bad taste out of losing to a division rival in their building when you had a chance to win. It was right there for them. And are we in the trust tree right now?
Of course, always, buddy.
I made a Photoshop of the score being 2-0, 8 minutes in, and Arbor Jackeye looking off Curtis McDermott, pointing at it, because he has done that before when they were up 3-0 against Toronto and lost the game. So I had it ready, and I said, did this idiot really do it again? And I was ready to click send, and I had to write the first thing when the goal went in overtime. Actually, with the giveaway, I just knew it was in. Close that whole tab.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah, it would have been a banger tweet, Ross. It's
gone, but not forgotten.
Wrong timeline for it. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, that was a funny time in the game, right? Like McDermott, he was effective in his role, right? He did what he usually is supposed to do. Jake Sanderson gets crushed over the boards. I mean, good hit.
Great hit. That was clean hit.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you take a number. He didn't need to drop the gloves. And if you're going to take the instigator, Martian, give him a couple.
Yeah, he should have maybe gave him a few extra shots there, but you got to love him stepping in there when, someone taking liberties on Jake Sanderson. That's one of their star players. He's on the ice. He kind of has to, in a way, right? Like, that's his job. But then Arbor Jackeye, that's 2 times now. I feel like he's kind of turned down McDermott. Once in the preseason, obviously, and then again here tonight. And that was the day they acquired McDermott. It almost felt like they got him for that exact reason. So there was no surprise that he was in the lineup tonight. But McDermott challenged him, and Jackeye said, no, look at the score. It's 2-0. I'm not going to go with you, you bum, la, la, la. But I think it may be just a little bit of because Jackeye knows that McDermott might be able to get the better of him in a fight, and that could easily change the momentum. But it didn't matter either way because the Sens came back. So Jackeye looks like a bit of a jerk either way. Shocker.
New segment on Locked On Senators postcast. Very excited to introduce this one. It's called Guess That Ice Time. We'll play it after every game.
Oh, this is the idea. I forgot to remind you. Okay, I'm excited for this.
What do you got? What's your guess?
McDermott, I don't know. Okay, so
chat needs to light up here. McDermott ice time.
I'm going to guess 650.
Way high.
Okay, 340.
Way high.
Wow, okay. 1 minute and 30 seconds.
He played 4 shifts for 2 minutes and 4 seconds and was given 2 minutes in penalties. I agree, though. Like, he's brought in here to defend players and stand up for them. So when he happens to be on the ice already and Jake Sanderson gets bombed into the bench, you got to do something. But I know the guy Turtle, but you give him 1 or 2 uppercuts. I'm not saying beat the wheels off him. There was clearly a mismatch, and it was a good hit. Like, it wasn't even like a predatory hit. That's a hit that's made often along the glass, but they were going at a high speed, and Sandy's tall, and he got it right on the hip, and that was dangerous, man. His skates were.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was the dangerous part of the play, because honestly, landing in the bench on top of the opposing team's players is probably more comfortable than getting slammed against the stanchion or the boards itself. So Sanderson didn't seem worse for wear from that hit, even though he did there was great contact on his hip there, but yeah, he ended up being fine, but his skate, it kind of went whipping around, like right around those guys' chests and heads. It's like, holy crap, like, everyone get your hands up, get out of the way, because Jake Sanderson's coming in there and his skates are sharp, I'm sure.
And then just moments later, Tyler Kleven answers on his end of things.
Unbelievable. This is exactly what you expect from Tyler Kleven. Like, just the response, like, 1 hit on one end, big hit from the Montreal Canadiens, and Tyler Kleven is licking his chops in the other end, just lurking in the weeds. The bigger fish is there. And next thing you know, it was who was it that he got? Was it Struble that he hit?
Was it Carrier?
Oh, it was Carrier. That's right. Yeah.
Carrier is the guy who got crushed in preseason by Hodgson that started the whole thing. Chad will let us know in a second. I want to say it was Carrier.
It was a smaller guy. It wasn't. Anyways, he ended up he ended up dumbing the guy, whoever it was, just a huge hit along the boards. And then he ends up fighting Joe Veleno, which Joe Veleno, is
He's
not.
just trying to stay in the NHL.
Yeah, he's not a guy you expect to drop the mitts, but good on him. I think there was a long conversation going on between him and Kleven because at the same time, the Sens are going down the other way on a bit of an odd man rush, and there's a great chance opportunity as the whistle goes and the fight ensues. So enough time had elapsed where they were having the conversation, and before the camera cut away from Kleven, you could see him say, "Well, let's go then. Let's go." And it took Veleno that enough time for the Sens to get all the way down the ice to, build up the guff to go with the bigger man than Tyler Kleven. And Veleno got a few little jabs in with the extended arm, and then Kleven just said, "That's enough of that." And he threw 2 bombs, and down goes Veleno. Great tilt from Tyler Kleven. Great sequence from Tyler Kleven.
Yeah.
Unfortunate timing with the chance happening at the other end. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I think that's the proper response there. Big hit. And then I'll be happy to take care of my own business here and fight anyone who's on the ice who wants to go me after I just killed one of your players. So good shift from Tyler Kleven. Great sequence from him.
Second fight for Tyler Kleven in his young career went a lot better than his first. It was not a very fair opponent last year when Adam Lowry gave him a beating when the Jets were in.
Yeah, you were at that game, weren't you?
No, Pilsy was front row at that game.
Yeah. I knew one of you guys was there. Yeah, that was crazy. Great recovery.
When he's 26, 28, 30 years old, Tyler Kleven's going to be rock solid.
Yeah, he's already starting to dip his toes into the fighting game. He's going to have to when he's laying those big hits. But I mean, when you're that size, who really cares? At that point, how many forwards are going to come at you after a big hit that you're really terrified of? Not many. Adam Lowry maybe fits that bill, but I can't think of many other guys in the NHL. Maybe like a guy like Tom Wilson, something like that. If something happens and Kleven's on the ice at the same time as him, but Kleven has really not a lot to worry about physically with many other players.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Let's talk about the biggest play in the game, and that was the game tying goal. Senators get hemmed in defensively. Perron can't get it out. Shabbat and Jensen can't get it out. Jensen gets put in the spin cycle by Demidov. He switches up top. They pass it low, and right before the pass, Dylan Cousins just sells out. Full slide, NHL 26 video game style, and just prays.
Yeah.
Will this puck hit me? It didn't.
Yeah, the Sens were in survival mode. I felt like it was that 2-3 minute left mark, and
they had just had a good ozone shift right before, but they couldn't get anything dangerous.
Yeah, and there was so much pressure happening with the Habs in the offensive zone. They were passing it around pretty good, and then that slide by Dylan Cousins, I'm not sure I love that. It was one of those things where the NHL happened, the players are too good. They moved the puck too fast, and they're too smart to fall for that kind of he went down 2 seconds before he really needed to, if he actually wanted to block that shot, if Demidov was actually going to shoot that thing. And then Demidov was just like, "Oh, I'll just dip it over here, step right over you, pal, and then I'm going to be alone in the top of the slot, and I'm just going to rip one." And boy, did he ever. That kid's got a great he's a good player. He reminds me a lot of Timmy. I find their games kind of similar. They're similar in stature. They play kind of a similar type game. I think Timmy's skating's probably a little bit better, but
they're both pretty elite. The comparison that I see a lot for Demidov and during his draft year we really looked at was Kaprizov.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense too because the Russian.
And he's a winger, right? He's a playmaker, but off the wing, he's talented. And I tweeted out at Sen Central when it happened. I was like, Chicago, Anaheim, Columbus. I know there were some rumors about him maybe wanting to pick where he went to an extent, but Chicago, no Russian is going to turn down going to Chicago, especially when they drafted Bedard the year before. Chicago taking a defenseman, I don't care how good Lev Shunov is going to be. That was just outrageous on draft day. And it's not like it aged poorly like Lane Hudson. Nobody was taking him in the first round. Some online scouts were late first, but even that. But everyone knew Demidov was top 2, top 3 talent in the draft. They were just, anyways.
They were scared of that Russian factor, and that comparison with Kaprizov makes sense. He probably watches a ton of Kaprizov. They might even be close now. Who knows? But yeah, that's going to be a scary player to face. 3 or 4 times a year, every year for the Sens.
Credit the Habs. They were the better team tonight. There's no doubt. Shots on goal were 27-17 in the game. Ottawa's got to get more than 20 shots on goal. Like, you're not going to win many nights when you don't get over 20 shots on goal. We got some questions in the chat about Linus Ullmark as well. The Jordan Spence saga, I'm now going to call it, because he's been a healthy scratch more than he's played this season, but he's a point-per-game player in 5 games. Those conversations are next. And Send Central standouts. This is the postcast presented by Locked On Senators. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NHL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, they get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Just like that. It's simple, safe, quick, and easy to use. The best way to add a little more energy to the game. I'm sure I'm not the only one right now that's dialed in on FanDuel for this World Series Game 7 final, and it just adds a little juice. Feels like I'm playing. Like I should put on the manager's outfit and sit in the dugout the way I'm dialed in thanks to FanDuel. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside The Martian. 4-3, the final score tonight in overtime, and power play remains all of a sudden ice cold. Ever since I posted that they were the best power play in the National Hockey League, it's gone cold. 0-for-3 tonight. Montreal goes 1-for-3. They scored on their first man advantage. Now, I will say, one of Ottawa's power plays was 10 seconds tonight, so we do have to put a little asterisk there, but don't take a penalty 200 feet from your net. Bang, bang play. I don't actually blame Drake Batherson that much. He's just trying to turn around, and Anderson's out of nowhere as a forward back that far. Face-off, still an ace up Ottawa's sleeve, has been all year. 57.7% tonight. Both teams with 27 hits. Each team got a few good licks in too. And the Habs blocked 20 shots to Ottawa's 12. Habs controlled the play at 5-on-5 tonight with 64% of the expected goals at 5-on-5. Marshy, give me a Send Central standout from tonight's game.
All right, Russ. Been weighing this one a little bit, but I'm just gonna have to go back to my old standard here. My favorite player on the Sens right now, and that's Tim Stutzle. The German always shows up when he plays against the Habs. I think he did it again tonight. Solid 1931 on ice, couple hits, couple blocks. Timmy was buzzing on both sides of it. I felt like tonight, a lot of steady back checks. A lot of hard on the stick plays, winning battles more probably than he usually does. He always seems to bear down that little extra bit against the Habs. And then, of course, the beautiful goal that we talked about as well. I'm going with Timmy Stutzle for my standout in this one.
Yeah, he was awesome. So much fun to watch him really develop. And that goal tonight extends Stutzle's point streak to 5 games. He has 4 goals and 5 assists for 9 points, almost 2 points per game in the last 5 for the young Timmy superstar. And he's living up to that name with a couple electric goals. Like, we might have to get the LOSP stats department to pull up all of Tim Stutzle's goals so we can make a proper top. I feel like we could almost be a top
Ring
10
of Honor.
category.
We could do a Ring of Honor, Ross.
You think there's 16 already?
16 sick Timmy goals?
Or 12.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
12.
okay.
Yeah, even easier. Yeah, I was saying we could do probably the top 20, but the hard thing about that is maybe we can't show the video. So
yeah, that is tough. That might age a little tough.
Yeah.
But he's adding to his catalog for sure with the way he's playing right now. I had to go on the fly, change it. I was so ready to talk about Drake Batherson's goal and an assist and 4 hits. I thought he was really using his physical frame today and was powerful. 3 shots on goal as well, but that number 2 in the giveaway column, that second one, it kind of omits him from contention for a standout tonight. But let the record show that for the regulation part of the game, Drake Batherson had a really, really good effort tonight.
We liked his game too all night, right? Like we were talking about it in our group chat. We were saying, he's playing a really nice heavy game right now, and he's looking good out there. So it's unfortunate that he had to spoil such a sick performance with one of the worst giveaways you'll ever see.
Yeah, a lot of giveaways from the Sens D tonight. Overall, you're looking at 4 from Nick Jensen, which is part of the Spence conversation coming up. Kleven had 3 giveaways. Zub had 2. One of those was a bad one as well. And Matt and Paolo had a giveaway. Shocker, the only Sens defenseman without a giveaway was Jake Sanderson tonight. Linus Ullmark with an .852 save percentage in goal. Like, again, you watch the goals back. Sure, would you like a save on the Demidov one? But he's coming in with speed. Great shooter off a pass. Like, that's a tough one on the tying goal, the breakaway. That one's tough. He makes a save on a penalty shot. He had a huge glove save on Demidov late in regulation after it was, or when I think it was still a 1-goal game for Ottawa. But these are not my Sen Central standouts. I'm working through who the key players were in tonight's game. I'm going to go, it feels weird doing this because he also took a penalty, but I liked Ridley Gregg's game. I was watching him really closely because I kind of called him out on yesterday's show, just saying, like, I want to see something from Ridley Gregg. I want to see him be more of an impact on the game. And I felt like he was in his little off-puck battles tonight. He was kind of getting a little chippy. He was using his speed as well. So I liked Ridley Gregg's game, and I got robbed of my Drake Batherson standout. So I'll go with Ridley Gregg. And stats won't back this up, but I liked him. I'm going to look at the analytics, the hockey card, see if it lines up with mine. We'll see if I'm really, really dumb or just the expected amount of dumb.
I think you're probably pretty bang on with that, Ross.
No, I'm not. Nice. I was kind of rooting for this because it makes the show funnier. On the game impact card, Ridley Gregg was the only player worse than Nick Jensen.
Okay.
That's awesome.
The eye test failed us for once.
I do not know puck. Let the record show that as well.
That is funny, but honestly, Ridley Gregg, he's kind of having a hard time putting the puck in the back of the net. Just 1 goal this year, only the 4 points on the entire season so far. So he's got to find other ways to get himself involved in the game, and he's kind of in that perfect little pest area tonight. I felt like too. I know that this is usually lines up really well at the eye test, but I think Ridley Gregg had a better game than this card.
Yeah, I think so too. I liked this game. But hey, I nailed it with Drake Batherson, by far first on the game score chart for the Senators tonight, followed by Jake Sanderson, Tim Stutzle, and Michael Amadio, who scored that second goal, although it took a scenic route to get into the net from his stick.
He's scoring a good amount lately. We could have chosen him as a standout tonight, and my last 2 postcasts, he's been my standout. So I couldn't go back to the well of Amadio again, could I? But Amadio, he's finding the back of the net. And he's always reliable in other areas too. So he's been probably the most steady Sens player, I feel like, this season so far, like just across the board.
Yeah, at least in like the last 5 or 6 games. Like, he got off the schneid against Philly, his first goal of the season, first point of the season in game 8. But now he's got 4 points in his last 6 games, including 3 goals. So yeah, you're on point with saying that it's been a much better effort from our guy Michael Amadio, who went as Mario, confirmed for Halloween.
Oh, good.
It's me, Amadio.
I'm glad he leaned into that. He should have eventually, so that's pretty good of him. Yeah.
Let's let the chat have their say now. We'll start in the super chats. Of course, our great friend Sens fans in Vans. The Sens win a playoff series against the Habs. Look, Pillsy and I off air talked about this the other day leading into tonight's game. After playing Toronto last year, I think I'm out on a real rivalry first round. Like, let's save that for the second round. Give me like a Washington, a New Jersey, like a team like that in the East. Those would be 2 of my favorite potential matchups.
No, I'm in on it, Ross. I am in on a rivalry matchup against the Habs. I'm not saying that I can guarantee that the Sens would beat these guys in a 7-game series. All I know is that it would be heated, it would be entertaining, and that's all I can really ask for from a great series. And whoever comes out of that series is going to have maybe other teams are in matchups that don't mean as much, but there's a little extra juice in those series. And when you win one like that, it's going to go to 7 games. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. And then you come out of that series, and those are the teams that usually go deeper in the playoffs because, they get that little extra war. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, a little more valor going into it, right? They've got that extra war scars. They're a little more beaten up. They know the playoff game a little bit better, I feel like.
And I mean, Sens Habs are tied 1-1 all time in playoff series. So you need a rubber match.
Give me that rubber. Let's go.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like the thought of it, but
Timing's right too. They're at the same stage right now.
I know it would be theater, but I don't know if the
What do you
win.
want, Ross? You want a postcast with 1,000 views, or do you want a postcast with
Oh, dude, you counting out the New Jersey Devils fan base? Come on. Hey, new host, by the way, Locked On Devils. Go check that out. Linus Ullmark can't start on time. And that's another comment here. Sens fan in van, and like Ullmark's slow starts. I could see that, but then you look, and Levi Marilainen's last start, they scored on the second shot 3 minutes in as well against Boston. So
it's a team.
It's a team thing. So Ullmark needs to be better early in games, but the first goal is a breakaway from the red line with a guy who's, I think, first or second in goals in the NHL this year.
Yeah, and I will
that
say
was Caulfield's 10th goal. Like, there's not many guys double digits right now. That's not the guy you want barreling in that early in the game.
No, but like, I mean, another, 850 save percentage is not a great number to be looking at. I mean, the one I look to as like, give me just a big save on this play when the team really needs you is that Demidov one. I think he had a chance to stop that one. It was a great shot, but give me that reaction. Give me that blocker. Like, stick that thing out there, and or I guess it would be glove side for him. I'm backwards. We've talked about that before, but stick that thing out there and make that save, and that would be huge. But he wasn't able to do it. That's just it. That would have been the difference in having a good save percentage too for him. So I need that one extra save that we need to give the team that confidence to finish out the game.
Yeah, and on the back end, Jordan Spence, healthy scratch. Again, second consecutive game and 8th time this season so far. Then he's got 5 points, 5 games, all assists, been a plus player. And my biggest gripe with it, and I feel like I've beat it like a dead horse, so I'll let you weigh in. But if Ottawa's going to allow the first goal in 11 out of 13 games, don't you want more high? Like, one, the defensive mindedness isn't working because you're getting off to bad starts. You're not playing with the lead. But then if you're chasing games, which you have, the stats show you do, you want a guy like Spence in the lineup even more.
Yeah, and how many of those first goals do you think Nick Jensen's been out there for? I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel like it's probably close to half of them. I have strong thoughts about this, Ross, because I'm not usually the guy who is eager to get a smaller puck-moving defenseman in over, maybe somebody who's on the larger side. But I'm not even targeting Matt and Paolo as the guy who needs to sit out. It's exactly what you said. It's that Nick Jensen, and it's because he wasn't even supposed to be ready to come in at the start of this season with this hip injury that he had, and he found a way to come back, and that's fantastic. Like, Nick Jensen last year was a huge part of this team making the playoffs. He's an important piece of the team when he's, fully healthy and ready to rock, and when he looks good. But like, the fact of the matter is, he just hasn't really looked that good for most of the season. There's been a few flashes. There's been moments where I'm like, hey, good play, Jensen, like, smart play. He's still got the brains for it. But I feel like with what Jordan Spence brings, it's a lot of the same stuff as Jensen. He's younger. Where's the harm in, giving Jensen a break? Let him have a few games off in a row. Rest up even more and maybe get yourself back to that 100% level that we know he can get to, and give Jordan Spence a chance. He's in there for one game at a time. Like, how is this guy supposed to build any kind of momentum in his game or confidence? And you're just killing it. You just acquired him. I mean, he's here for a reason. You got to get him more in the mix more often, I feel like. And Kleven, Matt, and Paolo has been a great pairing. I don't see why Thomas Chabot and Jordan Spence can't work. So we haven't seen a ton of it. I'd love to get him in the mix, like, permanently in that spot, and have Jensen kind of take a little bit of a break and try to get yourself back to 100%. And then when you need him, he's going to come in, he's going to be in a better spot. Now it's like, if something happens on that right side and Jordan Spence all of a sudden has to get plugged in, he's thinking to himself, well, I'm only in because of injury. I'm still the 7th guy. Like, give this guy a real chance, a real look. And I think he's been incredible. Like you said, point per game. And he had a big mistake against Anders Lee, and I think that's the first thing everybody's thinking of right now. But he's been pretty solid, Ross. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I do understand, but I also think it's difficult to scratch a guy who's been playing that well just because of one mistake.
And his numbers, whether it's the points, as we've talked about, or the underlying numbers, like, they're all really good when he's on the ice. I don't understand the reluctance to play him. So maybe they'll change their mind. But if I know Travis Green,
And Russ,
probably not.
they won with him in the lineup, and they still changed it.
I
Like
know.
that's something you would never see on the reverse side of that. Like if Matt and Paolo was on the ice and they won, you'll never see them change that up. Like you rarely ever do. I don't know what he's got to do to stay in the lineup, but I disagree with it as of right now.
Last thing I want to bring up, and it's another old school hockey theory, answering the bell. Nick Cousins got 2 punched tonight by Jaden Struble. That's a big boy that came over. I know it's not Jack Eye, but Struble can chuck him. As Jan Yannick could vouch for in preseason. Now, Yannick took a cross check to the chin before that, but Struble's a tough dude.
Yeah, and Nick Cousins got a little bit of a banged up face right now too, because he had gotten a scrum last game and he ended up taking his own visor off the beak. But he's also from Belleville, so add 20 pounds to his fighting capability probably in most cases. But yeah, Struble's got him by a lot. It was a very one-sided fight, but that's I guess what you have to do if you're going to take a liberty on a really skilled guy. I think if the shoe is on the other foot and somebody slashed Stutzle like that, I would like to see the guy on the other team have to answer for that. So I just respect Nick Cousins for answering that bell eventually with a guy who is much larger than him. Like I think him and Joe Veleno would have been a much closer fight unless the Kleven fight Struble. I think that, if you look at it that way, that's the way it should have gone down. But 3 fights in this game. This rivalry is not going anywhere, Ross.
No, it's not. And next time we'll see it is the first game in December when the Ottawa Senators, I believe, will be back again in Montreal for that game. And then later on in the season, let's find out. We're never wrong on this show, according to Brady Kachuk. So let's be right on that. December 2nd, it is in Montreal. January 17th and March 11th in Ottawa. 4 head-to-head matchups this season. Sens and Habs. Final thought, black buckets tonight with the white jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
Love them, meh, or hate them?
For me, it's meh. It doesn't do anything for me, but I don't dislike it. I think it's a different look that I'm glad they're trying. I don't mind it. I think for me, the only thing that could make it like, oh, I do like it really a lot now is if they added the black sleeve finish to the white jerseys to really accent everything. That's really going to bring that old school look for me. To me right now, it kind of looks like they try to combine, that old school look of wearing the black helmet with the white jerseys with their new jerseys, which it doesn't quite work all the way for me aesthetically, but I don't mind it. I think I would have liked it a lot better if they won tonight, Ross.
Yeah, I've got 2 notes on this. One is the results from the poll at Sens Central, where the majority's like you, but slightly more hate it than love it, 31 to 24%. So that's the interesting part of that. Everyone else, majority mostly, thought it was meh. But secondly, I've realized that I have successfully infiltrated my wife's brain with having Sens games on around her. She looked up about 5 minutes into the game, and she goes, hey, the Sens look different.
Yeah, okay. She noticed. So that's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah.
No, I was shocking. So credit to me. It took 5 years, but we made it. She's dialed in. Or should I say she's locked on Senators. Ottawa falls tonight 4-3, but a little silver lining, the sliverest lining of silver. The Belleville Sens got a 7-4 win tonight. Carter Yakimchuk's first multi-point game in the AHL. He had 2 assists and 3 shots on goal in that game. Wyatt Bongiovanni led the way with 2 tucks of his own, and the disher was dishing. He had 2 assists. Dude, has anyone lived up to a nickname more than Stephen Halliday? The disher. He started his AHL career with 5 assists in 10 games. Then last year had more assists than goals. This year, in 9 games, he's got 1 goal and 10 assists.
Yeah, it's like every time he gets an assist now, everybody thinks of Pilsy with that.
It's just the best, dude. Right to his face. Hey, man.
You're not really much of a disher. He goes,
not much of a disher, are you? He's like, buddy, I
assists.
He's like, buddy, no, I led the league.
Oh, yeah.
I led the league, bud.
Yeah.
Big a lap. Hey, better than me. I called him Stefan when we drafted him. I said, yeah, Sen's got Stefan Halliday. He DMs me. He goes, hey, love the show, man, but my name's Steven.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So thanks, dude. Want to come on? He's like, yeah, we've just been on good terms. Friend of the show, we'll say, ever since. So Yeah. Anyways, hey, 3 outs. The World Series could be coming to Canada. That'd be sick. So let's enjoy that. Reset. Ottawa's got a few days off. We got some great interviews. Maybe the most liked figure around the Ottawa Senators will be on Locked On Senators this week.
Right.
And you don't know who it is just yet, but you will. It's going to be really, really fun. So stay tuned for that early in the week. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And we'll see you for the next postcast on Thursday, but 4, including the game day preview episodes of Locked On Senators coming between now and then. For The Martian, I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been another postcast presented by the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the GCP where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. Go Sens go in the chat. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.